this is, to me, subtextually, the debate about authoritarianism versus democracy is all about a sort of hyper-masculine reaching for power through violence over a more, what if you want to look at it in binary terms, a more feminine, that's a more masculine way, a more feminine democratic process, a multilateral, like, for example, multilateral organizations like the UN. The right has historically hated them, in part because multilateralism is a form of distributing power more broadly, whereas authoritarian is sort of unilateral. We're just going to do what we need to do. We're not going to be constrained by this messy process where other people have a say. So democracy versus authoritarianism can easily be mapped along an axis of gender binary. Masculine is authoritarian in this scheme, and feminine is democratic. So all of this is happening in American politics as we speak. But I think that lifting this to the surface and talking about it is a really important first stage. And the attacks on women political candidates, the misogynist attacks, whether it's online, verbal, whether it's death threats, rape threats, it's completely, totally unacceptable, or the actual physical violence and the threats of physical violence, like, for example, men in the United States showing up at rallies at the state houses of various states around the country, strapped on AR-15, semi-automatic weapons with high-capacity magazines, claiming that that's their right and that that's their assertion of a constitutional right, when what they're doing with that use of violent, sort of the show of violence, is suppressing other people's rights to free speech, because a lot of people are afraid that if they come out to a political rally where the other side has guns and angry men with guns, they're much less likely to publicly assert their First Amendment or their free speech rights, because they're obviously going to be intimidated. And that's how fascism works, in this case through blunt physical force intimidating people's political organizing and political speech. And in particular, the misogyny directed and the violent threats directed towards women in politics, we need to call that out.